What if I told you there's a powerful technique that memory champions, doctors, and ancient thinkers all used, not a gift, but a skill anyone can learn? This skill can help you remember anything from historical dates to scientific formulas. It's called the memory palace, a way to use your imagination to store information in places you know well, like your home. The world's best memory athletes use it to memorize hundreds of facts in minutes. Medical students use it to master anatomy. They're not born geniuses, they just use their brains differently, turning studying into a creative adventure. In this journey we'll explore the memory palace, where it came from, how to build one, why it works, and how technology might change memory forever. Are you ready to unlock your superbrain? Before books became commonplace, before the printing press revolutionized how we access and store information, people had to remember everything. Knowledge wasn't something you could just look up. It lived within individuals, passed down through generations via word of mouth and carefully cultivated memory. In ancient Greece, where philosophy, oratory, and the arts flourished, a poet named Simonides, a master of verse and memory, discovered something remarkable, a technique that would shape how people remembered information for centuries to come. His discovery came after a tragedy, a devastating collapse at a banquet. When the hall collapsed unexpectedly, burying all those inside, Simonides, who had stepped outside moments before, was the only one able to identify the victims amidst the rubble. He accomplished this not by recognizing their disfigured faces, but by recalling where each person sat at the table, not their names or faces, which were now unrecognizable. This experience led him to a profound insight. He realized our brains are brilliant at remembering places and images, the layout of a room, the details of a scene, not abstract facts, lists of names, or disconnected pieces of information. This became the foundation, the cornerstone upon which he built of the memory palace, a powerful technique also known as the OR method of loci, a system for organizing and recalling information using spatial relationships. Roman orators like Cicero, masters of rhetoric and persuasion, used it extensively to deliver hours-long speeches, captivating audiences with their eloquence and recall. They spoke from memory, without notes or prompts, walking through the rooms of their homes in their minds, placing key points of their speeches at different locations. Medieval scholars, before the widespread availability of books, memorized entire texts this way, preserving knowledge and passing it down through generations. But with the invention of the printing press and the rise of readily available written materials, we gradually stopped relying on our innate memory capabilities, and the art of memory, once so vital, slowly faded from common practice. Today, in a world saturated with information, with endless data available at our fingertips through smartphones and computers, maybe we need this lost art, this ancient technique for enhancing our memory, more than ever before. The memory palace is not just a simple trick or a parlor game, it's a powerful tool for deep learning, enhanced comprehension, and unlocking your creative potential. Imagine what you could remember, the knowledge you could retain, if you harnessed your mind's natural strengths and tapped into its inherent capacity for spatial memory. The ancient method is ready, waiting to be rediscovered and applied, for a comeback, a renaissance in the way we learn and remember. Will you bring it back into your life? Will you embrace this ancient wisdom? The secret isn't truly lost, it has been preserved through the ages, it's waiting patiently for you to rediscover it and unlock its potential. What could you achieve? What heights could you reach if you mastered this ancient skill and integrated it into your daily life? The answer might surprise you, revealing hidden capabilities you never knew you possessed. Let's delve deeper and see how it works, exploring the mechanics of the memory palace. So, what exactly is a memory palace? It sounds grand, doesn't it? Like something out of a fantasy novel. But in reality, it's a remarkably simple and incredibly effective technique for enhancing your memory. At its core, it's simply a place you know well, like your home. A space that's deeply familiar and easy to visualize. Think of it as your mental canvas. This familiar place is then used as a mental map, a structured framework upon which you can hang memories. You mentally walk through it in your imagination, taking a deliberate and pre-planned route. This journey is key to the process. As you walk, you're placing vivid, unusual, and memorable images at specific spots along your route. These spots act as memory anchors. For example, let's say you need to remember a short grocery list: milk, bread, and eggs. To remember milk, imagine a massive milk waterfall cascading down your front door, flooding the entrance. The more absurd, the better. Then, picture your sofa completely covered in bread cushions, soft and inviting, but utterly ridiculous. Finally, envision a chicken in your kitchen, not just laying eggs, but expertly juggling them with incredible skill. The weirder and more visual, the better. Exaggerate the details, make it unforgettable. Our brains are naturally wired to remember stories and images far more effectively than dry facts, not boring lists or rote memorization. Each location within your chosen space effectively becomes a memory slot, specifically designed to hold a piece of information. Once you've filled your home with these vivid images and you need more space, don't hesitate to use other familiar places. Your school, perhaps focusing on specific classrooms or hallways, a park with its winding paths and distinct landmarks, even a video game map, if you're a gamer. The possibilities are truly endless. The palace provides the crucial order and structure, while the bizarre and engaging images are what make those memories truly stick. You're not just passively memorizing information, you're actively building a rich and interconnected world of knowledge right inside your mind. So, what place will you choose as the foundation for your very first memory palace? Start simple, perhaps with just one room, and then let your imagination take over and do the rest of the work. The more you practice this technique, the more natural it will become, and the bigger and more impressive your mental library will grow over time. Anyone can learn and master this technique. No special innate talent is required to unlock the power of your memory. So, are you ready to take the first step and build your very first memory palace? Let's build your first memory palace in 4 steps. First, pick a place you know inside out, your home, school, or favorite hangout. Second, plan a fixed route through it. Always start and walk the same way. Third, choose 5-10 distinct spots along your route, like the doormat, sofa, or kitchen table. These are your memory slots. Fourth, place wild, memorable images at each spot for what you want to remember. For example, Mercury, a winged messenger on your doormat, Venus, a goddess, at the coat rack, Earth, a spinning globe, on the hallway table. Make the images vivid, weird, and multi-sensory. Walk through your palace in your mind, seeing each image in order. That's it, you've built your first memory palace. Practice with simple lists, then try more complex info. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Soon you'll be able to store anything you want. What will you remember first? Start building now. Why does the memory palace work? It taps into how our brains evolved. We're wired to remember places and images, not random facts. Turning information into vivid scenes hooks it into memory. This process, called elaborative encoding, creates strong neural connections. The palace gives structure, like a closet for your memories, not a messy pile. By retracing your mental route, you recall information in order. This uses your hippocampus, the brain's navigation and memory center. The memory palace makes learning active, creative, and fun. It's not about trying harder, but thinking differently. Visualize as you learn. Your brain will thank you. Anyone can do this with practice. Are you starting to see your mind's true power? Let's try it out. Now let's put the memory palace technique to a practical test. It's time to see how well you can apply this ancient method to memorize a list of items. We're going to start with a simple exercise. Your task is to memorize these 10 words: car, elephant, water, sun, book, shoe, tree, phone, moon, key. Take a moment to really visualize each of these words. Now let's create your memory palace. Use your house as a palace porch, living room, kitchen, dining room, bathroom, stairs, bedroom, closet, window, bed. These are your loci, the specific locations in your memory palace. Now, for the fun part. Place each word at a spot with a wild image. A car blocking your porch, a pink elephant relaxing on your sofa, water flooding your kitchen, the sun shining brightly at your dining table, a bathtub overflowing with books, shoes forming the steps of your stairs, a giant tree growing in your bedroom, dozens of ringing phones crammed in your closet, a giant cheese moon hanging outside your window, and finally, a golden key resting on your bed. Really see these images in your mind's eye. Now, close your eyes and mentally walk through your house, carefully recalling each vivid image as you go. With practice, you'll remember every word, and more importantly, in the correct order. This is the incredible power that the memory palace unlocks. Now it's your turn to experiment. Try it with your own lists. Whether it's groceries, study notes, or any other information you need to retain. The more you practice this technique, the easier and more natural it becomes. When creating your images, make them as strange, funny, and vivid as possible. The more bizarre, the better. And remember to review your palace daily for the best and most lasting results. So, did it work for you? Were you able to recall the words in order? Congratulations. You're actively building a super memory. One room, one image, one association at a time. Are you ready to take your memory skills to the next level? What about the future? Could AI help us build even better memory palaces? Imagine an app that creates wild images for your study notes, or lets you build palaces in virtual reality. AI could map out routes, suggest memorable images, and even personalize exercises for you. But if AI does all the creative work, do we lose the mental benefits? The real power comes from your own imagination. AI can be a coach, not a replacement, helping you build bigger, more complex palaces. The combination of ancient technique and new technology could unlock new levels of learning. How will you use tech to boost your memory? The future is wide open. Your mind is still the most important tool. To master the memory palace, practice is key. Start with your grocery list. Build a palace and use wild images for each item. Next, create a second palace, your route to school, a park, or a favorite place. Define 10 memory slots along a fixed path. The more palaces you have, the more you can remember. Use flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet to pair facts with your images. Mind mapping tools can help you plan your palaces visually. Challenge yourself. Memorize 5 key dates or vocabulary words using vivid images and your palace. Review daily for a few days. You'll be amazed how much sticks. Every palace you build strengthens your brain. Make this a habit, not just a trick. Your memory can become your superpower. What will you remember next? You now hold the secret key used by history's greatest minds. Memory is not just what you have, it's what you do, a creative act. The memory palace can turn learning into an adventure and make knowledge last. By turning facts into stories, you build a web of understanding that stays with you. The only limit is your imagination. Every time you use this method, you strengthen your brain and take control of your learning. So what will you choose to remember? The plans are in your hands. Your mind's empty rooms are waiting. What will you build?